and welcome to the Deceptilab. This your boy Freeze with the weekly live stream. And today, I know a lot of people anticipating that it's going to be a reveal for one of the bots from the upcoming 5-star batch. So that's going to be batch 13 that is on the way. And just want to be clear, I'm revealing one. I'm revealing one bot today. Um, and there's going to be other bots that are going to be revealed later in the week by Sunstreak Awaza and by Soldier. Um, and I already saw Soldier in the chat. So Soul, if you're still in there, let everybody know when you plan to reveal your bot, so everybody's tracking. But I see a lot of you guys probably already saw the ad that Sunstreak Awaza put up there early in the week. So thanks for that. And had a little bit of some controversy the last couple of days. We had some changes that are going to be coming to the VIP program, so we're going to talk about that. And we are going to. I got a little bit of a request from one of my players last week. Chris Harmon, one of my moderators, actually asked me to put together a team. Had a real good reason why I didn't go and do that, and I'm sure he'll see that soon. But before we get into any of that, let's flip over to the newsletter and see what's going on for this week. All right, so this week is event is called the Lesser of Two Evils. Very appropriately named for this week. But yeah, just with all the controversy, we had to make some choices this week, and I'll tell you a little bit about that process in a little bit. Let's see. So, week 3 of the saga. So, the apes want you to know that a couple of things are going to be happening. They are going to be introducing the Acid Crimson, and so a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Especially for a lot of the players who don't have acid options, anti-heal options. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. All right. So, for this week's event, it's going to be another 500k. So prestige, 20 prestige, 25k per tier, and some of the prizes you can get up to 5k prime shards, up to 20 green crimson. So they actually be available as part of the event, but they're not going to be available in canisters. So I'm going to tell you now, if you've been holding on to those canisters, I know I was talking to Chris Harmon the last couple of days. I talk to him just about every day, but he was saying that he got about 300 of them. Don't open those canisters. They are not going to be in the canisters right away. The green crimson, you're going to have to wait until they have a public release. And so you're going to have some that are going to come in the event. You're going to have some that are going to go on sale this week. Uh, don't go open your canisters if you're looking for green crimsons. They're not going to be in there. All right, let's see. So, and then it's going to be a new battle booster. Oh, they're talking about the green crimson. All right, so let's see. And then you're going to have your typical 4-star, 3-star, and premium shards. And then you get a good amount of spark and combat spark, along with your resources and gold power cores. Typical battle zones. And let's see some game updates and information. So they got Souls time is actually in here. So all of the content creators, they're telling you exactly when they're gonna be on. So Sunstreak Awaza is gonna be on tomorrow, 8 p.m. UTC. I'm obviously on right now, and Soul's gonna be on the 4th, so around 2 a.m. UTC. And then you can see the thumbnail that I built for this, just to let everybody know, hey, the batch reveal was coming. Like I said, I'm going to be introducing one bot. All right, so let's see. Acid Crimson, they talking about again. They actually talk about the bundles in there. So that's all what you could get for $100 bundle. So actually, not too bad. Um, especially if you don't have any options for acid, then definitely go take advantage of these bundles. All right, the saga schedule. Now this has been an ongoing discussion for me this week. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But just in playtest, I think there's been some negative repercussions from having such short events through most of the saga. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But like I said, 500K last week, 500K this week, and then the big 50K event next week. So, no, most people are usually looking forward to that. Let's see, Community Corner. Uh, Texas Hammer went and got a coin. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, limited edition coin from the Rise of the Beast movie. So yeah, actually really consistent with the movie thing, man. So I like that. Thunderbot got went to GalaxyCon in Raleigh and met Frank Welker and Peter Cullen. You know, Optimus Prime himself, and he got a couple of collector's items. That's really cool, man. That's actually one of the better community corners I've seen in a minute with all the collectible items. Bug fixes and improvements that should be going through. Actually, that's the stuff they had up there last week, isn't it? 26th. Yeah, 26th of July. But Alliance HQ, so, well, I guess they didn't change the date because Alliance HQ last week had its rollout. It was crashing anytime players tried to go collect their resources. That got fixed in the middle of the weekend last week. Skyrain and Galvatronus, instead of having 100% invulnerability, got 80% invulnerability. Fort Max and Scorponok, the Lightning Rod, well, it lasted for 60 seconds instead of the stated 30 seconds. And it also resisted ability and fire damage during that time. And then they're still working with Guy and Brainstorm with those issues. Now, I will say, Space Ape has their stream tomorrow. Discord's been on fire the last couple of days. And make sure you take your complaints over there directly to the team on their live stream tomorrow. Um, and really, that's all we got for the news. All right, so let me take a look and see what is going on in the chat. And it seems that I lost the top part of the chat. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna start from what I can actually see. I see Mercenary Terror in there, one of my moderators and fellow content creators. So check them out if you guys haven't already. Uh, Chris Harmon, another one of my moderators and good friends. E. Rods, one of my teammates, Spec, is in there as well. Let's see. Skinny is in the chat. Thanks for joining. Fox the Bomb, my third moderator, in there as well. Let's see. Alpha Trion 1 joining us again. Living Dead Dan. Let's see. Soldier is in here, so make sure you go out there and support all of your content creators, so Soldier's going to obviously do one of the reveals this week, so make sure you check that out. My good friend Trap on the stream with us tonight. Thanks for joining. Uh, and we got Steven, and he made a guess. I started having people make guess. He made a guess at the Sentius twins coming into the game, so we'll see how that works out. Let's see. Let me see who else got guesses in here. All right, let's see. We got Robert C4 in there. He says the apes are rubbing off on me. Yeah, because I was in there begging for money. I said I wasn't going to reveal the bot unless y'all go in there. Now that I'm monetized, unless y'all go in there and leave me a tip. But I'm just messing with y'all, man. Let's see. Who else we got here? I'm gonna go over to the battle. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go back over into the lab real quick. Let's see. Matt Rambler's in here. Let's see. Good friend of mine. Joker is in here. Joker is actually my first YouTube member, and you can see he's got his initial little emoji up there, the little yellow crimson to start out. Uh, so yeah, man, if you guys aren't members already, we got three different tiers. It's 99 cents, 199, or 4.99 for each of the memberships. So um, I'm going to be working on a lot of new content. So you guys up there that are my Diamond membership members, I'm going to start getting a little bit of my content early. You guys see, I started making a lot of videos as of late. Let's see, Big Joe in the chat. Thanks for joining. Carnage is in the chat along with AJ Gaff. So thank you guys for joining. Autobot Phil, Ronald Van Hollen. Um, let's see, Deception's in there to punish and enslave. Thanks for joining. And he's rooting for Vortex. You've been rooting for him for a little while, man. I was like, you know what? I hope you get him. Big Blade is in here. Big Blade actually got kicked out earlier by accident, but no, we got that straight. And so thanks for joining, buddy, and thanks for being patient with that. Let's see. Yeah, of course, with a bot reveal, I got like lots of people in here. Mr. Mooger has joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Rajan is in here, and he says that he thinks it's gonna be. Are you saying it's gonna be Inferno? Mr. Mooger says he's looking for Mirage, and Big Blade says he hopes Sinister becomes good in the meta. Venger Prime, one of my good buddies from Playtest, is in here, and he says I feel like Trax is going to be one of them, but that could be wishful thinking. Yeah, I've been pushing for Trax and Cutthroat for a while. Um, Hopefully that winds up being the case. But all right, so let's go take a look. I want to go take a look at what was going on this week with the VIP. Oops. All right, well, let me actually set that up first. And let me go pull up Discord real quick because we had a little bit of an incident this week. Uh, we had a problem where the apes are saying they're gonna change VIP, and Discord, as Discord typically does, they erupted, and so this is the message that we were looking at. Dale basically says, "Hey man, we're gonna change. I'm gonna paraphrase for you, but he says, basically, yesterday the VIP is going away. They're gonna try a different program, and the reason for that is because it's not meeting everyone's needs. He's saying that they had some limitations due to the manual processes that they use and the exclusivity, so it prevented them. It held them up from getting more players into the program. So a little bit after that." We wind up getting this. So that's probably hard to see. So I'm gonna actually pull that up on the screen real quick. And so what they pulled up was this program right here. And on the very bottom, just to the left of where I'm sitting, they had what was the old program. So you had your old monthly rewards, and a part of that was that you had, your 30K of premium shards, your 30K of spark, or each type of spark. You got your 20 Crimzigs, your 10 new school crystals, which a lot of people earlier today, I guess they probably weren't too concerned about it before. But when they were talking about new school crystals, they were like, well, what's in them? And I said, well, you had a 33% chance at either your 25-star shards, I think it was 124-star shards, and I can't remember how many 3-star shards it was. So the big selling point that the apes were making was that, oh, we're getting rid of the 3-star shards and we are adding this LP crystal instead. So they were going to take out the 3-star shards, add 25-star combat shards, and they thought that was going to be a really, really, really positive change. And it did not work that way because on top of the monthly that we got, we were also getting, your 5K premiums. You were getting 10,000 more of each spark and a silver chip. So they decided to go do a program that was based solely on spending. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. Of course, let me know in the chat. But yeah, how did you feel when you saw this? If you saw this, how did you feel when you saw it? Because to be honest, I thought it was a bit much. Because when you look at these tiers, uh, let me actually blow up my screen real quick. Let's see. So when I was looking at this, that first tier that they were trying to run was going to be anybody from $20 to $249 was going to get the 5 LP crystals, and they showed you the averages on what you were gonna get. Which I was like, all right, man, 30 a possible 33 5-star shards out of on average, and it's taking you 5,000. I wasn't overly impressed, um, and it was just substantially less than what we wind up having in the original VIP program. Now, my issue is this: a couple of months ago, I want to say it was late March, beginning of April. One of the things that started getting talked about was we've been keeping this a secret from you guys on how to get into VIP. You know, for years, everybody was like, oh, you got to spend lots of money. And so they came up with the concept of, hey, if you spend $500 lifetime, then we're going to allow you to join VIP. Or if you had 1,460 days and you were HQ 17 and you were continuously active in the game, they added you to VIP. So my issue with it is this: if you go take away VIP, you're essentially saying, hey, we're going to give you this stuff, and then you're taking it away. Now, if the program never existed, cool. Or if you said, well, we're going to give you more, cool. I'm going to keep it a band with you guys. I started talking. I started talking to Dale about this concept way back in February, and I remember it was February because it was just after my birthday, and I was saying, and he said, "Hey, what do you think about this? If we went to go do a spenders VIP?" And my response was, as long as you don't take away anything from anybody, it should be cool. You're always gonna have some people that's gonna get upset, but if you got guys that are spending like heavily to make sure that the game is staying afloat and stuff like that, and you give them a little bit extra, I'm fine with that. Perfectly okay with that. But don't take anything away from everybody. And so there was a survey that went out, and it went out just to the spenders, and the spenders started saying, they say, hey, and it's basically, it was based around, hey, if you, would this make you spend more if we offered this as a prize? And I can't recall if it wound up looking anything like this, like what we got on the screen. But to even get anywhere close to where we were at, you wind up having to be in that third tier, spending about 250 to 499. Now, the graphic I've got on the screen is already, they already took that off the table. If you actually go back to, go back to the Discord screen for a second, and what you'll see is shortly after that, the ape said they were going to change this, and so they're only going to do 3 tiers to start out. The 0 tier, it's not going to cost you anything, and you're gonna get like your 5K or sparks. You're gonna go get your small prizes. They didn't put it on the chart yet, so I can't speak overly intelligently about it. But I did get invited to the little working group, a little council they had to try to see how to make this better. Uh, Primarily because, like, I'm going to be stern in my approach. I was actually talking to some of the players on Discord, which honestly I got tore up today on Discord. If I'm gonna be honest with you, because a lot of people think that when you're a content creator, you're just some big whale that's sitting there spending all this money on the game, and you're going to support this stuff. And actually, I don't spend very much on the game, period, anymore. If I'm being transparent with you, so but I do get that thought, and I think that for the free to play players that you actively invited to the game 4 months ago, I was just like, man, like, you just invited these guys in. I was like, that's tough to go take something away from somebody after you gave it to them and tell them that this is going to be something that you're going to have on a constant basis. So I wasn't, I don't want to say I was upset, but I had my highs and lows through the day because, we just had different proposals through the day. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And they was like, I got one proposal and it didn't have any of the premium crystals in it. And I was like, well, why are we fighting this hard to not give people premium crystals? And then as soon as this got released on Discord, they said, oh, yeah, we'll give you some premium crystals too. And I was like, dude, I already told you that's not going to go over well. But what we have now, I think, is a little bit more reasonable because tier 1, they said, and they got it at like $9.96, so really $10. The goal was to try to make it so that if you go buy, say, the Cyber Pass, that you wind up getting essentially the same stuff that you got on the old VIP program. Problem with that is it's taking it away from the free to plays, who you actively sought out and said, "Hey, come play this game, and we'll give you VIP if you've been around playing the game for a long time." So that's kind of tough. So from $10 to $100, that's what you get. You get pretty much the old VIP stuff. They don't have it on this Discord thing, but my understanding is they're gonna add your premium shards to that as well. Then they're gonna do another tier from 101 to $200, and they're gonna upscale that. But they said the multiplier should be around 1.5 for for all of the prices. So it'll just scale up. So let me know in the chat, what do you think about what's been proposed so far? I know the information right now is a little bit vague, but that's what we got going on right now. So let me know how you feel about it. All right, let's catch up and see what's going on in the chat. I'm gonna go back to the lab real quick. All right. And everybody's making their guesses in here. So let's see what kind of guesses we got for this 5-star. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, the Punishing and Slave is looking for Vortex. Joe Merkel's looking for Sentius Malice. All right, so Stephen asked, so there's three content creator reveals plus the community voted bot who's revealing the fifth bot. All right, so I can tell you this. So there's only going to be one endurance bot that's going into the batch. Um, I know a lot of people were looking forward to having two, and I didn't ask this. I can go get more clarification. But what I think it is that because we're accelerating the how quickly the bots come out, I think now that they might have put one in there for that purpose. But there are three Space 8 picks, and so the content creators are revealing the Space 8 picks. But I will tell you that we already know that Rotorstorm and Spinister is going into the batch. Roadbuster and Half Shell are going into the batch from the endurance pick. So the three that we're revealing, the one I'm revealing tonight, the one that Soldier's revealing, and the one that Sunshrika Waza is revealing, are going to be the three that go into the batch. Is phase 3 coming this week? Nah, no info. We ain't tested phase 3. I just don't think we're there yet. I don't know how soon or how far away that is right now, honestly. Let's see. Trap says I think it's Remy Martin in the cup. Hey, so listen, man. I'm on leave, man. So I got my gin in my cup. I got my Tangeray in my cup, bro. So I seen like a couple of comments about what's in the cup. Steven says thanks for working with Space Ape on the new reward system revisions. Yeah, man, no problem. My thing is I always want what's best. What I think overall for the game and the community so that the game can continue to go on. But unfortunately, some of the stuff we just gonna be unhappy with. Like I was unhappy with some of the results, to be honest. But overall, I think the product that they gave was a pretty decent product. I think that it makes more sense for the game to have a multiple like $10 transactions um, than to try to go drain the whales for every the 1% for every single dime that they got. I got a comment that says I would die of laughter if it's drill horn. I mean, Dale always teases about that, so it's always a possibility. Mercenary Terrorist says he wants to see Dead End. I think most people want to see Dead End as a 5-star. Like, let's be honest. Yeah, Mike Berge and Joe Merkel said the same thing. Cup and Dead End, they like to see. Big Blade asked him, "I'm showing a bot that we don't know about." Yes, it's I'm showing a bot you don't know about yet. Lord Avix, my good friend, is in there saying drill horn, and Trap is still talking about the cup, saying it's cognac. Shout out to Chris Harmon, man. Chris Harmon became my second member. He joined with a diamond membership. So yeah, man, I really, really appreciate that. And let me know if you guys got any questions about anything that you get. I'm actually gonna um, set up the members chat in Discord. So yeah. All right, man. Y'all want to see this bot or what? Yeah, Sunstrike says where is Braun? Yeah, I mean Braun in full tilt. Man, I just think that they just because they're accelerating this stuff, I think they're just not gonna do it right now, man. Action will wants Skywarp. Man, let's go to the battlefield, man. Let me go. Let me get out of Discord and let me go get into the test server, and we'll take a look at what's going on with these bots. Guys, get your final guesses in because we're gonna talk about this bot here in a minute. All right, so let's see. Let me actually get the game on here, and boom. All right, so um, so I'll give you a hint for those of you that are making guesses. It is a special class bot. So let's pull up the special class spots so we can take a look at who we already have as a 5-star and who we don't. Mario says new community manager needed. Rajan says Wales, you must be a retail investor as well. Nah, man, I'm saying I'm in the military, bro. So who we got left out of the special class spot? Let's see. I see fell bad. I know we don't have him. Let's see. Yeah, T2 Megatron, we don't have him. Counterpunch, we don't have. Ramhorn, we don't have. Dead End, we don't have. SG Shockwave, start off the ice meta. Leo Zap, we don't have. Lockdown, we don't have. Dirtbag, we don't have. I don't know, man. Who is it? Soundwave Hiss, we don't have. Good one, good catch, Chris. So, the bot that is going into the 5-star batch, I'm cutting off all guesses now. Sentius Malice is going to be the next bot that is going into the 5-star batch. Now, like I said, Soldier's still gonna go in there and talk about some. Um, he's still gonna talk about one. Waza still gonna reveal one. But as it is right now, so you know that it's gonna be Sentius Malice and Sentius Magnus. It's going to be Spinnerstorm and Rotostorm, and it's gonna be Half Shell and Roadbuster are the three that we know so far. So let me know in the chat, what do you think about Sentius Malice going in as a 5-star in batch 13? Let me know. I see Vixen joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Looks like you got here right on time to go see. I see Dennis Smoke. Dennis Smoke 86 was actually the first one in the chat, I think. And I forgot that when I looked in there. So thanks for joining. Another fellow content creator. So for any of you who speak Russian, he's got a Russian Transformers Earth Wars channel. So check him out. Joe asking I post Soldier's channel. I got Soldier's channel in. It's actually in the bio of my page, so you can go in there and find it in there. It's also in the newsletter too. But yeah, I got a link from him on my actual YouTube page. Mike Berge says Wazoo will announce Skywarp tomorrow. I mean, it would make sense if it's Skywarp just because, I mean, we're still in the asset meta. So maybe, who knows? You know, I said that's not my lane to go talk about that one. All right, so that's a good question, Fox the Bomb. So let's talk about. Let me go back to the newsletter real quick because there's one key piece on the newsletter that we probably been breezing by. But when you go back and you look at that schedule, next week there's going to be part of that. It says sort of balance for the Sentius twins, and so when I look at that, I think to myself, man, this core must it's probably going to be really amazing. And my logic for that is this: if you go look at Sentius Malus and Sentius Magnus, and you compare them to Impactor, if you go compare them to LOP and Avocado, or Armada Megatron, for those of you who never heard Avocado, um, even at the 5-star level, will Malice stack up? So let's take a look real quick at our 5-star version of these bots. Now, you guys know for the longest time I had Impactor on my war team. I just pulled them off recently. I'd be sneaking them back in there again sometimes. I ain't gonna cap. But so this is what we're looking at. So from a damage standpoint, you know, without any additional stuff, you get them at like 38, 640, and with 869 of damage. So when you look at that, and you look at how the scaling typically goes for these 5-star bots, is Sentius Malice actually going to get in that territory where he's better than some of these other bots to do similar stuff to what he does? And looking at it, you might got a shot that he can be a little bit better than Impactor. Let's take a look at Armada Megatron. Do I have him on this account? Yeah, I don't got him leveled up on this one, but so that's another thing to consider. And the question is, I just don't know. I don't know how well he's going to stack up, but I do think that that means that that is going to be amazing. I think that means it's going to be a really amazing core. I didn't put the chat on here on the actual game screen. I'm gonna do that while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see. But yeah, man. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you think about that. I can't get this thing down. But all right, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty right here. Let me close BlueStacks for a second. Let's see. Let me get the chat. All right, give me and bear with me for a second. I'm having a little bit of a problem with BlueStacks getting it to shut down. Uh, just because it's acting funny, it froze on me. So let's see how the response is going to the news. I think most people actually wanted Malice for a little while. I just hope, and that's always my fear when we go get some of the old bots and put them into the game as 5 stars. I just hope the game hasn't passed them by too badly to where the point where the 5-star is not relevant. That's my only concern anytime we start getting new bots. Fox the Bomb asked, will there be a buff? So they always gonna be a minor buff when you go get old bots and you go put them into as a 5-star. We just got to see how that's gonna work. Vixen agrees with it. Cynthia seems to be good. And it says Berserk says Cynthia is good, but Half Shell is the bogey pick. So here's the thing, and I talked about this when Half Shell first came out. Uh, he's good for exactly what he's good for. I mean, he's got pretty good damage. It's expensive damage, but when you get into and this he came out before we had the upgraded shield generator, and the shield generator is what wound up making the shield generator upgrade is what mine ended up making them valuable. That and he's actually pretty good in the outpost for the people that seen him. Like I the people that use him, I actually ran into him on one battle, and I dropped like my team, and he just like started blowing stuff up. So it just kind of caught me off guard. But all right, let's see. I was supposed to be putting the chat in here. I probably shouldn't even worry about it for real. Let's see. Sunstrike is looking for a 5-star double dealer. I mean, when you start looking at the fact that it's the asset meta, a lot of these asset bots realistically could be on the table. Uh, can't say definitively what's happening, but it would make sense. Kind of like the Sentius Malice pick, it just kind of made sense, right? Because they're giving away the power core from now. Like, who needs a power core for Sentius Malice if you're not using them anymore for wars and stuff like that? Like, if he's just a power leveling bot, there's no need to go in there and add a brand new power core for him for real. So yeah, let's see if we get another asset bot of some sort in there. Because I mean, let's be honest, people been complaining about it. Me personally, I haven't felt like it was necessarily justified, only because if I'll be honest with you, they have had asset bots in the last couple of. They've had asset bots in the last couple of 5-star batches, so there's been opportunities there at this point before the asset meta even started. But it won't hurt to have another one just because that healing cluster is strong, man. So I get it. I'm not gonna fight against it, but you know, do we need another one? Not necessarily. Let's see. All right, there goes the chat. Let's see. So Alpha Trion, so that actually makes a good point. Alpha Trion one says Malice spinning through Armada Megatron and impacted with a wheeljack speed up would be crazy awesome. So I had a request from Chris Harmon, and that's why Chris, that's why I didn't actually go send you that video, because the very next day after you asked me for that video about trying to he wanted to use, let's see, thrust. He wanted to use thrust, malice, and Spinister together. So, and a part of that would be good to go in there and use Shockwave for a speed up. So I'll take Hook out. I'll put Shockwave in. See how that works out. What level do I got him at? I got him at 67. He's good. So yeah, that's why I didn't run your video, because I was like, shoot, man, like Malice is coming out, so actually I can kind of tie that into the whole thing with Malice. Mike Berge says I'll trade drag strip runabout and hunger for Sentius right now. Oh shoot, that's a good point, Clint. Like back in the day when you start looking at acid meta stuff, back in the day, the acid, you know, they made acid and fire the same. So on the bot side, you wouldn't have the same for some of the bots. So like I believe you guys are talking about Skywarp in there in the chat. Skywarp over there on the con side. So and this is one of those things that I've been on Space Ape about a lot, because you've got to make sure that the tooltips match. You got to make sure that they match for both sides, because like, to be honest, if you don't, then you wind up running into these problems later on, and now all the elements, pretty much you're pairing them with another element and stuff. Well, I expect that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. And so then it becomes a problem with stuff like I give you a good example. Zori, the Autobot counterpart for Zori does water as its element, and the apes were talking about. And I mentioned it on the stream a little while back. The apes were talking about possibly using that as an element, and right now we don't know if we can because y'all used, they used water for one, and they used like a rock slide for the other combat bot. So your hands are kind of tied. Do you just go change? You go change Zori to water? Like who knows how you resolve that situation? Chris asking about would a 5-star Bido come out next week? So the one that's coming out, say I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to go pull the 5-star. It's always in the order of it's always in the order of which combat bot came out. They do it in the same order that they did an event for it. It's the same way that they do the 5-star release. So whichever one is next up in line is going to be the one that comes out next week. If y'all, anybody in the chat remembers the order that they came out, I got it on my. I always go look it up. I usually don't remember stuff I can look up, but yeah. Let's see. Is Tarn getting the combat or core? So yeah, he's got a core coming out. He's got a core coming out. I can actually pull it up for you real quick. Yeah, that's Tarn's core right there, Joe. So that's what's going on. So yeah, it's gonna give increased damage. It's gonna give a healing pulse, and you know, it'll restore a percentage of the allies and the bot's health and Tarn's health. So should see that in a few weeks. And Fox the Bomb just signed up for a membership. Thank you for that. And I appreciate you joining the membership. I'm glad to have you. See, Cheeto joined the chat. Thanks for joining, Cheeto. One of my good friends uh, from my alliance family, the Horde. I was actually talking to Cheeto last night, man. I was playing a game of Marvel Snap, and a dude named Cheeto was up there playing against me in Marvel Snap, and I was just like, yo. And the dude Cheeto was pretty good, and I said, man, you know what? That sounds like something Cheeto would do. That sounds like Cheeto would be this tactical. So I messaged him. I was like, hey man, is that you? He was trying to give me a hard time. But yeah, let's see. Mario, I don't know if they need a new community manager. As I understand it, they were already doing some hiring after Daisy moved on to another game. So there should be a new community manager coming soon. There was an advertisement out for the job last week or the week before, but I don't know if they closed it or not. So if you go on Space Ape's website, you can actually go look and see if they have those opportunities open. Let's see. I see Rez, my good friend Rez, joined the chat. Thanks for joining, Rez. We were just talking about Cynthius Malice joining the next 5-star batch. So I'm gonna try to find a tougher base, Chris, because that one was kind of easy. Oh, oh, so that's what you mean, Mario? Do I think that players hate Dale now? I mean, now, so one thing that I'll say is this. Now, when being a playtester and everything, you're gonna have conflict with people. I mean, I've had conflict with lots of guys, and most of us we're still, we're friends to this day. I've had words with Dale on a couple of things, a couple of times, but typically I try to be pretty pragmatic about it. Um, some players are always going to be unhappy no matter what, and I get that. And I think players were justified in being unhappy with the news that they received yesterday. So I don't want anybody mistaken to saying that I'm trying to invalidate their feelings because I'm not. Like I was upset about it, to be honest, and I was going to get my rewards regardless. But I think players overall, now some players did leave the game yesterday. I think we lost like seven that I know uh, that I know of yesterday. But I think the feelings will recover. I think majority of the players buy Cyber Pass, and they'll wind up getting the stuff. More players are going to wind up getting VIP or whatever they're calling the loyalty program. You know, whatever name they try to give it. I honestly don't really care what they call it. But that's what I think is going to happen. I think that everybody is eventually going to come back down. There are going to be some players, unfortunately, that leave the game, and it sucks because this was avoidable um, if they managed it properly early on. I do think that the new program is going to be pretty good. Uh, if you spend any money on the game at all, if you're just one of those people that's like, "Hey man, I never spend a dime on this game," you're gonna be pissed off, unfortunately. And what sucks about it is I think that Space Ape is all right with that. But they'll be on their stream tomorrow. I'm not going to speak for them. I'm going to let them speak for themselves because, it's been a rough couple of days, man. I'm just going to be honest. It's been a rough couple of days. But yeah, I said I ain't want to get swooped or whatever. I won't really paying attention. I'm just sitting up here talking. So I wind up just dropping my combiner. But let's see what we got. Let's see what this team can do for us. So, and I actually show you the power cores and stuff I chose too, Chris, because I kind of follow the same concepts. I think that overall I could make a better team than this without like I don't really see Thrust as like a war bot per se. He's not terrible. I actually like him. He's actually one of the few bots that I consider as being fun. I don't always say that bots are fun, but as far as I'm being war material, it's kind of tough. But I think more so than anything, I know a lot of people just ask about, well, which pairing should I use and stuff like that. Dude, honestly, as long as you understand your bots and their strengths and weaknesses, you can get away with a lot. If you being honest, this particular team trying to use all these bots together in combos, though, for my personal taste, and you can see I'm starting to kind of fall behind in the battle and starting to lose the battle a little bit. I don't like burning that many ability points as these guys take up. I use a lot of cheap ability point bots, but you can see that early on they clear some stuff out. Oh shoot, Tex is in the chat. Thanks for joining, Tex. Tex said, "Ooh, I made another live stream." uh, so Trap says rate this batch versus other Metabot batches. Bro, I'm gonna keep it a band with you. Let's go pull the batches up. Hopefully, I don't know if I got any that I use on this account. If I exhausted the whole batch, but when I go look at like a Legacy 11, that one's pretty good, and that's like for me. I wind up pulling drag strip, but I had bludgeon, Queller gun, and acid storm that I wanted. Um, and then at the time, people wanted runabout, but then that's when the big counter came, and I was like, I ain't even gonna pick up runabout on my live account at least. You can clearly see that he's picked on this one, but like that one was pretty good. Uh, Legacy 10, Legacy 10 was pretty good. I mean, shoot, Legacy 9. was really good. How do I rate this against that? I gotta see it when I test it, bro. Like I honestly like I will say I'm not overly excited about this batch, but I know a lot of people are. Like I know I think I saw that Waza was excited about the batch. I think there's a bot that's coming out in the batch that he's really high on. But even before that, like like this was a really good batch. I mean, for a long time, these were four of these guys were your outpost bots in Legacy 7. So when you start looking at batches as they've grown over time, then I was like, shoot, man, like I don't even know, folk. Like, how do I rate this one with that one? Man, I'll give you a definitive answer after testing, man, because as it stands right now, I'm not overly thrilled. But I did pick the so I was telling the story, I was actually telling Trap the story like 3 days ago when I was saying, hey, I get to pick one bot. It's about 2 days ago. I picked this bot because Malice is one of the bots that he's been close to me. Like the very first war team I built it around Ramjet and Sentius Malice. So for me, the nostalgia piece is there. I just need the rest of this stuff to match up, and that's why I want this power core that they're coming through this sword to be. I need this sword to be really about that life. I need it to be legit. Robert C. 4 says 10, 17, and 12 are the best in your opinion. That's pretty. Those are pretty good. Uh, the one with Lugnut. So yeah, Lugnut. That batch was a pretty good batch. That's the same one, if I believe, that had like Blot in there and a couple of really good bots in there. Um, let's see. Steven asked me what some popular combo pairings you see other players use often. Um, So one of the ones that's saying right now, because a lot of people, since we got text in the chat, one of the ones we use a lot is a lot of people use skids. They'll use skids, which is knockout for us on the con side, and they'll use scavenger. They use scavenger, which is rust dust for the Autobots, along with Rodimus Unicronus and Inferno. That's a popular one. Tex made that one really popular. Um, a lot of people are starting to use now. A lot of people were talking about using full tilt to try to go use with just any electric bot, but realistically, a good combo for a lot of people are using it with Slipstream, but a better combo for Slipstream actually winds up being Terramander. So a lot of people are starting to get onto that a lot. And that's some of the ones I'm starting to see lately. Yeah, Robert C. 4 says that Quellagon made that into a good batch. Yeah, and I say, I mean, it is a good batch. And the thing is, by the time I finally got Quellagon, I was like, man, I don't even want to use this batch no more. I don't even want to use them in the outpost. But I say I put them on my war team, and I put them on, I took them off, I put them on, I took them off. So let's see. Yeah, definitely skids and rust dust. Venture Prime says, not gonna lie, when I log into test 99% of the time, he sees that I got attacked by freeze. Well, you don't see that anymore, and the reason why you don't see that is because now you got what I call pull up mode, so you can just go in there and fight your teammates. Because usually I'm looking around to practice. Now I just practice in secret by just roaming around I'll jump back and forth between the Autobot Alliance and the Decepticon Alliance and just fight everybody. Red said, I remember when I used scavenger and everybody made fun. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're a good friend of mine, and we don't always see eye to eye on bots. But I was one of those people that was making fun of you. Well, I wasn't making fun of you because you were actually like a much better player than I was. But I was just like, I just couldn't get it. And the thing is, I started using Scavenger. I started doing the Texas Hammer thing for a little bit, and I liked it. But when I was working with one of my other mentors, and he's like, "Well, try this and see if you like this first, and then if you don't like it, you can go back to doing it the way Texas is doing it." And then he got me onto that block walk, which is when I made that block walk video. But two, and I'm sure Tex would agree, you got to find multiple ways to attack things. I just have certain things that I will use more frequently. Cyber Inferno says Pipes is amazing. I think everybody agrees with that. Pipes and Headstrong. Text says, "Get my average sorted so I can practice on your base." Say, "Oh, you saw that? I just, I just posted my averages a day. I'm sitting kind of low because I had a couple of really rough wars. I'm sitting at like 240s. Is it 246, 248, something like that. So yeah, let's see. I see Soldier signed on as a member. Thank you for that, bro. Really appreciate you, and appreciate all you do for the community as a creator as well. Like if you know, if you guys ain't know, like when I was first getting started, Soldier used to give me tips like every day, and I would just sit at my computer for hours at a time. Like I would take leave and just sit at my computer and just work on what Soul said I should do this, and now I got a pretty good channel. But yeah, I agree with you, Rez, about that backflip for Scavenger. It's pretty rough at times. Oh man, but shoot, man. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a day for the stream. Um, like I said, thanks everybody from joining. I hope you guys looking forward to the rest of the bots that's coming out in the batch. And man, like I appreciate all you guys that jumped in today and actually became members today. Uh, if you go into any of you while starting the day, if you go into the links of my videos, you'll see my sponsor W. I know Chris Harmon said he ordered some W, which is an energy drink. Um, I left links for that in there, and you probably saw the ads on the newsletter and stuff like that. If you use my code Freezy TFEW, you get 10% off. And if you got any questions about it, let me know. I'm actually gonna add something about that to my Discord. But I'm gonna head out. Like thank all you guys for all the love and support today. I'll see you. I'm probably not gonna make another video this week because it's my wife's birthday this week. But I'm off next week, so I'm probably gonna make a lot of videos. So I'll see you then. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezy is out.